In the United States, roughly 20 veterans a day take their own life. That is nearly one life lost every hour. At K9s For Warriors, we are dedicated to ending veteran suicide. We provide highly trained service dogs at no cost to veterans battling invisible wounds of war, post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injuries, and military sexual trauma.
They have a little yard that they put the dog in, and you walk through the gate to see your dog. And at that moment, I just fell down on both knees. I said, "That's my dog." She pulled loose from the trainer, came and jumped into my arms. We have been inseparable since that day.
You know, being lucky enough to come across an organization like K9s For Warriors, it's been incredible that Costello has helped me come back to the world.
K9s For Warriors was founded in 2011 by the late Sherry Duvall, realizing the potential for service dogs to return our veterans to a life of dignity and independence. She was determined to make a difference. Since then, K9s For Warriors has grown into the world's largest provider of trained service dogs to veterans, with multiple campuses and hundreds of employees across the country, all working together to save the lives of our veterans. Our program is backed by academic research, which shows that 82% of our graduates have reported reduced suicidal ideation, and 92% have reduced the number of medications they require. The majority of the dogs in our program are rescued from high-kill shelters. They go through months of rigorous training to become accredited service dogs. When paired with a warrior, we are saving 2 lives. We rescue the dog, and the dog rescues the warrior. But we don't stop there. Our warrior operations team provides a lifetime of services for our graduates, their families, and their advocates, all at no cost to them.
Hope is the most perfect name for this service dog, because not only does she bring hope to me, she has brought hope into our family. She restores this hope that you, as someone with PTSD, once lost.
So our mission is to save their life. Our mission is to get them back into civilian life with dignity and independence. They deserve that. But more has to be done. More agencies need to follow our pack. They need to follow our lead and save more lives of our nation's greatest asset, our military.
Hey. Wow.
Hey, I was waiting for you to come on. I'm like, wow, we're just going to sit here and just let it stew.
Just let it fester there for a minute, stew. So welcome everyone to today is another Tuesday, and excited to be here. K9s For Warriors, and excited to go through this for ITNation Gives. So I'll go ahead and throw up that deck here. So what are we doing here today, Andrea?
So today we are talking about K9s For Warriors, which is the organization that ITNation Gives is actually supporting at this year's ITNation Connect. So every year we pick a different organization that we want to try and figure out ways to bring more awareness to and help support through different activities on site or at our event. And K9s For Warriors was just a clear answer for us this year. One of the ConnectWise philanthropic pillars is specifically around supporting our veterans and those who have served our country. And ITNation Connect actually aligns with Veterans Day each year. So when we were talking through different items that we could do as far as supporting organizations, K9s For Warriors continued to come up in almost every conversation that I had. And not only is it kind of combining an incredible cause of supporting our vets, but also it's helping support shelter dogs as well. So by supporting K9s For Warriors, we're actually helping to save 2 lives. So I'm beyond thrilled to help this organization this year and see the community come together to help support such an incredible cause.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And so, Sean, last week we heard from Stephanie. She's the director of kennels. Then we also heard from Joe Moreno and Eagle. Amazing story. In fact, so much like it got pretty emotional for me just hearing the story and how much did dogs really affect people with PTSD and getting through that. Right. So you want to talk about a little bit about that from last week's experience and kind of your thoughts on?
I think it was actually 2 weeks ago, Adam, but I got you. Don't worry. Yes, it was 2 weeks ago. We were in Atlanta.
Oh, I was in Tampa.
But you and I were in Atlanta when
I know.
Yes, we were together in Atlanta, actually. I mean, it's not even just about dogs. I think the important thing here, the first thing that's acknowledged is it takes a lot for these guys, these men and women, to actually ask for the help. We were making jokes about therapists before we got on here, right? Like you're a therapist and whatnot. But the fact is, it takes a lot for people to even look for help. So, and then it comes in all forms and fashions. There's no silver bullet to cure all of us of all of our issues. That's for damn sure. So but I love this because it's funny. I've done it backwards. I always just rescued the dogs. I never went through any program to get a dog that could actually that didn't take a shit on my floor. So I need to rethink my life choices, right? But it's true though. Like my dogs, I'm on my second rescue, and my kids like me somewhat, but the dogs, they really like me. They think I'm awesome. Like I'm their hero, they're better than my kids. I think they're going to get more gifts for Christmas than the kids are. So there's that, but it's important. And when I saw the program, I was like, this is pretty bad. This is pretty badass. I think it's important. And I like that they're saving a dog first. That's what I'm doing when I do this, but they're saving a dog, and then the dog is saving the veteran, because hell, they end up loving each other. It's unconditional. Oh my goodness, am I on my own screen here? I am. This is amazing.
You were talking, you were kind of cut off by the banner at the bottom. So
that's okay. I'm good. Leave me off. I'm good. But yeah, that's all. I'm done.
Awesome. So what we're talking about, Andrea, is here the mission. We have a goal of 50,000 here. ConnectWise Foundation and ITNation Gives is partnering obviously with K9 for Warriors, and we're at 4242. It's kind of a nice little number, but we need it to be 50,000, right? So we have almost 10 days till ITNation, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
So there's a countdown timer right behind your head. I don't know what it says on there.
When it comes up again, I'll pay attention.
Not that our audience will see that, but so definitely click the link. I'm going to be sending that link out here shortly. This is really, really cool. I want to talk about one thing here, Sean, right? This will get us some extra donations. You as a young child, a young buck, this looks like you're 18, bro, or just graduated high school.
I'm not sure the age. I was probably 20, I don't know, 3-ish, maybe, give or take. I only know that because that's when I came out of active and I went to the Army National Guard, PA Army National Guard. That, like, you can see the unit patch on my shoulder there. That is the Keystone, which historical funny, not funny story, but shitty story. But historical story is that's a Keystone, which Pennsylvania is the Keystone State, but they call them the Bloody Buckets because they were one of the first National Guards to serve in a major world conflict, which is World War II. And they're the ones, if anybody saw Band of Brothers, they're the unit that when they go to Bastogne, the unit that's coming out that looks like they were beat the hell up, that's the Army National Guard. They actually held the line in Bastogne until the 101st came in, and then eventually the Tank Division came in to help as well. So yeah, that was actually probably about 2002, maybe 2000. I was getting ready to go on a deployment for 2000, end of 2001, 2002, early 2002, because I was going to go on deployment for 9/11. That was what we were doing. We were doing sticks and we're doing sticks training and hand-to-hand combat and search and rescue training. So
nice. Okay. So I actually have a request, maybe, that we can see if we can raise maybe $1,000, maybe even $2,000 on this. I'm curious what your donation level would be. Is if we can get you to wear a camo uniform at ITNation Connect.
Well, it won't be that because I don't know if I can find it.
The 5K or wear a rucksack. We'll do. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
Now you're getting ahead of yourself. We're
Okay.
not wearing a rucksack. We're not. No.
Okay.
However, if people want to spend money for me to do ridiculous things, that's fine. I'll do that though. Anything for the cause.
Aim for the cause. Anything for the cause. So yeah, so we actually have Dean here. John, you want to introduce Dean?
Yeah. Well, first we have John Harden from Avik. That's been a very big advocate of ours. Thank you, John. I got you out of your losing your shit. He brought his good friend Dean on, and I will let them tell the backstory. Although we know that Dean is affiliated with K9s For Warriors, and we didn't know this until John had a conversation. So, John, well, first, Dean and John, thanks for being on this time. Really appreciate your support. Thank you. And so, John, I'll let you do the rest here.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm excited. I mean, Dean's going to be able to tell his story far better than I am, but you know, it was pure serendipity, and I feel like that's how sometimes these things go. You know, Dean and I were connecting just a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, and Dean and I have now known each other for a couple of years. The last time Dean and I met in person, ironically enough, was down at ITNation Connect last year. And I peeled out of the offsite to grab some time and grabbed dinner with Dean. And as we were talking, we started off the conversation about a puppy I was babysitting the other day. And that's when Dean and I connected prior. And he goes, starts telling me a story about this non-for-profit that he's been engaged with for multiple years, and how he has been fostering puppies for the last 5 years, and goes on to tell me about this amazing organization called K9s For Warriors. And my jaw just about dropped because it was completely unsolicited. And I don't want to share his story because his story moved me, but I will tell you immediately after he told his story, I think the next question that came out of my mouth was, Dean, will you get on a live stream? We got to share your story and the impact you're making with K9s For Warriors with Adam, Sean, and Andrea. And so I'm so excited that you're here, Dean. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. You've got a lot of things going on, but we're excited to hear your side of this story. And maybe I'll pass it off to you to maybe introduce yourself a little bit, and maybe share a little bit of your story with K9s For Warriors over the last handful of years that you shared with me.
Sure. So my name is Dean Meklowitz. The way we got into this is one of my wife's friends or coworkers at a preschool was bringing in their K9s For Warrior puppy to socialize the puppy around 4-year-olds. And then somehow we got roped into it 5 or 6 dogs later, and we're still doing it. But the backdrop, these puppies and dogs take, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just the professional training in the kennels, which they get, but they're socialized for close to 1.5 years with people. So these dogs, we get them as puppies, or maybe they're we've had a forced surrender where the dog was abused and had feces in its fur. And they spend 1 year with us, 1.5 years, even close to 2 years during COVID, where they get social.
Oh, welcome back, Dean.
Oh, did I just go away?
Yeah, you did for a second.
I didn't even know what I missed. What did I say?
No, you were good. You're good.
All right. Yeah. So there's a lot of work with these dogs. They get socialized for close to 1.5 years to 2 years. They go with us everywhere: planes, date night, the store, football games, University of Florida football games, graduations, everything. And the whole job that we're supposed to do is get these puppies socialized. We get them trained a bit. They go through professional training once a week. It is a huge commitment. It's pretty costly. Not that we get paid. It's just that it's costly for the organization. I'd say that probably the most difficult thing is, every time we give a dog away and let him go after 1.5 years, my wife cries, the kids cry, at least my daughter, when you give them away because they become part of the family. But then you hear the stories, right? So the stories you'll hear is a warrior's on their bed. They have a 45 with a bullet in the chamber, just thinking about ending it, and the dog all of a sudden lays on them. Now, we've never seen that, but we've heard the story from the veterans that's happened to. What we've seen personally is when we bring them and we go to the graduation, you see the warrior just focusing on the dog, and they come up to you, and they're not comfortable with public speaking. They're not comfortable with talking to new people, right? This is an extremely difficult situation, but they always come up and thank you, and they've already connected like you wouldn't believe with these dogs. It's really incredible to see the connection, how quickly it happens, how they stare at the dog, how they even send thank you letters afterwards, for raising the dog. But it's really, you can see the impact firsthand, let alone those crazy stories of, somebody putting a gun to their mouth and the dog grabs their wrist, right? Or lies on top of them. I mean, we heard that multiple times from Warriors. It's really incredible, really a great organization.
How did you get involved in the organization? Did I miss that part?
Yeah, it was probably when I was talking to myself when I was on mute. So
welcome to the club, Dean.
Yeah, well, I know, and you're comfortable with it too. And I didn't even know it. I was thinking I was just talking genius here. I was it was funny, and I was making jokes and everything. But yeah, so the way we got involved was years ago. My wife was working at a preschool, and her coworker was bringing in a puppy to socialize the puppy with the 4-year-olds. And then we were raising them over. We would volunteer for the weekend, and all of a sudden we got talked into one. Raised him for it was a quick 6 months. That was a short one. Got another one that was 2 months old. Aria, a terrier mix. She needed a big yard for sure, and she got one with the Warrior. Then we got another one, and then we got George, and the list goes on and on. Every time I think we're done with it, we get another dog, and we're starting from scratch again. Potty training them, socializing them, and then all of a sudden they're part of your family, and then you got to give them up. So that's but we're okay with that. That's the way of giving back.
So
that's awesome.
That's incredible. And I think when we were kind of talking about this, I mean, what's the monetary cost of raising these animals and dogs? And I imagine it takes a lot of training and a lot of work from a lot of different people. Can you talk a little bit about that, Dean?
Yeah. So our time and everything we do is free. And of course, we also buy a bunch of stuff for the doggy bed that they rip up because you don't realize that you shouldn't leave that in with them in the kennel. I mean, there's all, so anyway, but they give you the food, they do the vet bills, they do the grooming, but the entire cost, I believe, is anywhere to $20,000 to $25,000 per dog. And that's with our time being completely free, which is untold number of hours.
That is incredible.
What do you think that okay? So you buy the extras. How much do you think you spend on your extras for the dog? Because like you said, they become your family. So if you're like me, I buy the dumbest of things for my dog because it seems like it's amazing.
Oh, treats and the puppy ice cream. I think what they call that. I mean, they love that, and whipped cream. Forget about it. They love the whipped cream. I couldn't tell you how much, but it's just like you. The only thing we're not paying, we're not paying for the vet bills. We're not paying for their normal food, but everything else, you're just putting out. I have no idea what it is. But whatever.
I get it. I actually don't look because it makes me cry. I'm like, why did I buy it? Like, honestly, the dumbest of shit. Anyway, yeah. But he's happy. All matters.
Well, why am I getting a dog a Christmas stocking? I have no earthly idea, but my wife does.
After running a 5K, I think, Sean, just a refreshing treat might be a dog ice cream for you at the end of.
I'm not running in 5K.
Whoa. You are running with the banana suit on. That was last 2 weeks ago.
No, I agreed to. Yeah.
No. Then it changed. Their money went up if I did something else instead, which I did. Now, babe, if I'm gonna run, I need $2 more $1,000. That's how this is gonna work. You want things from me, I want things from people. So,
and do you get another $1,000 to eat doggy ice cream? I mean, this is gonna be the Sean Lardo race.
I'm not doing that. Why do I have to do all?
He's going to be the rucksack.
Wait.
He has to change outfits like every mile. Right?
I'll be exhausted from that.
That is a good idea. Different activity every mile.
No, it's not, Andrea.
I beg to differ. I do think.
I have a lot of ideas.
It's for a good cause.
Okay, so I'm curious, when is it your guys' turn to do any of this?
We will help support you through your experience.
I have to film it and live stream it. I'm taking
the only way you're helping me is if I'm jumping on your back and you're carrying me part of the way, then I'm in. Which would be fine.
I could do that for
$5,000. Andrea will definitely carry me the 5K on her back.
Not the whole 5K.
Oh, we can't volunteer random things to you? I mean, that's what's happening with me.
20 feet.
I will do it for a quarter of a mile.
Do you see this shit, Dean?
Sure.
That's what I go. Like, it's Sean would do this. It's like
you're so supportive and down for anything. I think that's what it is. You just have such a go-giver attitude about things. And
that's exactly right.
Oh my God.
Dean, I actually have a question for you. So if somebody wants to get involved with K9s For Warriors, it would be a potential, foster parent. How do they go about that?
I believe on the website there's a volunteer area, so I think there's some training you have to do. I think maybe I'm not exactly sure all the steps you have to go through because it was so long ago. But I think if you go to the website, it'll show you what you need to do to get involved. There's lots of different volunteer activities like the puppy raiser. That's a pretty big commitment, but people that love dogs, it's pretty easy. There's other folks that just babysit for the weekend, because sometimes you got to go away. You don't necessarily want to take the dog. But I think on the website, there's a whole area where you can sign up and volunteer for various things.
Awesome.
I had to bring on some audience, some material.
Another special guest.
Do you have any puppies right now?
No, we don't. We're on a break, but I know that changes at a moment's notice. Somehow I get home and I see we're volunteering, raising a dog for just babysitting for 2 weeks. Just happened.
I can't be up that high. He's a big dog. Sorry. Well, somebody Natalie's looking for the puppies.
Hey, all right. Well, Natalie, we're here for the donations. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing your donation in there. Links on the bottom. Great. Anyway, so now how many years have you been doing this for now, Dean?
Well, I thought it was 5, but it might be longer. It might be maybe longer because
wow,
maybe 8. I'm not quite even sure now. It's been quite a long time.
Wow, that's some dedication. Now, do you go to the graduations and stuff too?
Yeah, that's one of the most fun things to see, because then you really get to see the results, right? So when you see the Warriors, right, again, like they're not comfortable. They get there. There's a bunch of people. There's live streaming it. It's really out of their comfort zone, and they're petting the dog. They're looking at the dog. They'll come up to you and thank you. It's really they're so appreciative because these dogs are really our lifesaver, and it really gives them something to focus on and something to care about. And you can tell when the Warriors saying, well, I was just talking to Flint and we're really getting used to each other, and we're getting to know each other, and he's talking like the dog's a person already, right? And it's been, it's really fun to see. When they come on campus for the final training, it's a 3-week process. So we give them up. The dog goes back to formal training for maybe a month or 2. The Warrior comes in for 3 weeks of training with the dog. So it is a really super involved process at their campuses, even after we've been socializing the dog for a year and a half, right? So it's really, but watching them graduate and, talking, you don't really keep in touch with the Warriors, but some of them will send you a thank you note or send you pictures, those kind of things. So that's really cool.
Very nice. So when you're raising, I'm thinking puppies right now. I'm like, okay, well, how old does a dog enter into the program, right? And it's like, what kind of dogs are you looking for, right? Obviously sheltered dogs, but like there's got to be a certain age and so forth, right?
Well, we've gotten them in 2 months, and those are a lot of work because they need to be they bark for 2 nights straight, and you need to be potty trained, and you get no sleep, and your wife tends to have a girls' weekend away when you got the dog twice. So I don't think it's really I don't think it's an accident now. So we've got them at 2 months, but we've also gotten them at like 8 months, where they were forced surrenders. So those are the dogs we've had. So you'll get them brand new from the breeder, 2 months old, or you also see the shelter dogs as well. So it depends on who you get. The kinds of dogs, the ones we've had have been all like doodle mixes, but that's because we were getting hyperallergenic dogs. But there's other kinds as well. Some are smaller, some are bigger. I think they have to be at least 40 pounds when they're adults, because one of the things to do is they'll stand, they get trained where if the Warrior falls down, they'll brace the dog to get up, that kind of stuff. So there's some things they do like that, but it varies how old they are. Yeah.
Okay. And so from entering into the program, I forget if this was mentioned, but how long does a dog take? How long does that training take? You mentioned some, socializing. You mentioned being with the Warrior, making sure they're, compatible, if you will. I'm curious about that. How long does a dog take?
So we started, we got them at 2 months. We gave them up at 18 months, but it looks like they changed that around. We had them, based on the capacity they have and the kennels and things like that. I think we've had one close to maybe 2 years at the most. So year and a half, and on the high end 2 years. So quite a long time.
I'm curious. I'm curious here now. You pulled out the story of training the dog to be able to support the weight of the warrior, from a pit, like picking them up. What are some of the other things this dog's learning? I mean, 2 years is obviously you're building a deep relationship with the dog, but I'm sure they're building a lot of skills to support the warrior. What are those skills? Do you know?
Yeah. So I mean, what we do. So a lot of it is the dog wants to be completely focused on the warrior, right? So when you watch the service service dogs and trainings in the grocery store, right? You'll notice that the person is continually treating them, so the dog's always focused in on the person. Always, a lot of these folks might have balance issues or physical issues, so if the dog can't be pulling or get excited if it sees another dog or get excited if it sees a kid, right? They have to be really calm and walk right beside you. When we walk the dog, in the neighborhood, right? Loosely, the leash is really loose. They're not pulling. They're right beside you, a foot away, just walking along where you don't have to, how a lot of times the dogs will pull and jump and they see a kid or a dog. Can't have any of that, right? They got to be used to, elevators and loud noises, going upstairs. We had a dog when we were trying to get into my big truck and realizing, the previous person didn't have a big truck. He was having trouble getting in, but, warriors might have a pickup truck, right? I mean, who knows what they have, right? So now they're learning to get into a big pickup truck, right? So, or stairs, our house has stairs, so they get used to stairs. But one time we got a dog, and obviously the person before us didn't have the stairs because he couldn't go up and down stairs. So they got to learn how to do that because you don't know if the warrior will have that in their house. So it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's broken up into segments of stuff, right? Between them training, you socializing, them training again, and then so you bring them back for 3 weeks before they have the graduation. You said, right?
Yeah, well, so 3 weeks, I think, is how long they are with the warrior. And I may have these details a little wrong, but I think the warriors come in for 3 weeks with the dogs.
I think that's what we heard from Joe like 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to get more into that with him, but we were well over our time. I think so we had to go. But so are you guys part of the 3 weeks, or are you just basically are there for handover and transition, and then it's them?
Yeah, for the 3 weeks, we're done at that point until graduation. But what'll happen is they'll go in for intensive training with the professional trainers for a month or two, and then sometimes kennel cough will come in the kennels. They'll say, well, we don't really want a dog to stay overnight because we don't want to get sick, so we'll take it, take them home for the night and bring them back in the morning. Sometimes they get a little stressed in the kennel because they're not, they've been used to being raised at home, so we'll take them for the weekends. So during that 2 months, depending on the dog, they may have us hold on to them, during the night and the weekends. Sometimes, they're full time there, but they're used to getting some pretty, I mean, they're not pets per se, but I mean, you wouldn't know that, right? I mean, we don't let them jump on the couch where you're not supposed to. Not supposed to jump on the bed, but we found out later that was a problem because the warriors all want the dogs to sleep on their beds, and we were kenneling the dog. So when the warrior went to get the dog on the bed, he wasn't used to it and paced all night. So they adjusted that. So you don't keep him in the kennel the whole time. So there's a lot to it, but
I like that. And then how old are your kids, Dean?
Well, my youngest is 18 now, but
okay.
we started this when he was actually, it must have been longer because he was 4. So I take it back. It's been longer.
Look, as we progress in the conversation, like we've been doing this for 100 years. I mean, God, it was like 3 years, 5 years, 8 years.
Yeah, now I realize we started this when he was 4. For God's sake.
Now we're 14. We're 14 years.
Yeah. Now we didn't start raising them ourselves until maybe a couple years after that. But I really lost track of time.
And now, how old? You said you have a daughter that cries. How old is your daughter now?
She's 21, a senior in college.
Okay, so I can only imagine how gut wrenching it has to be to take. Did you take them when they were little to the graduation so they could watch the dog go home with somebody else?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that's like taking them to Disney World and just driving past and letting them wave at Disney World.
That's right.
That's good.
That's a great. Them up is that's pretty hard. But when you see the reactions and you hear the stories, and it's you got to get back, right? That's pretty.
Yeah, because a 6-year-old girl cares about that.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, Sean.
Well, I was thinking about it as you said. I was like, man. So I can imagine taking my daughters. Hey, we just love this dog for the past 8 months or a year, and it's a great dog. But it's leaving now to go to its other to its real family. We were just a pretend family. I can imagine my one daughter, especially at 6, she'd have been like, no. She would like probably tackled everybody to get to that dog in. She would,
and these dogs have been trained to, to be really, right there all the time. So you lie down, it comes and lies on your feet. You move to the kitchen, it follows you, right? It's so, you're giving up, you really become, part of the family, and you really get attached, but you just got to give them up. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about my kids cry. I was gonna say, they'd be so mad.
Well, I just want to remind everybody here, make sure you like this, subscribe to the YouTube and so forth, and actually share this. It's really, really awesome, amazing, everything we're hearing today. Dean, I appreciate you taking the time, jumping on here, hearing your story, hearing kind of what you've created and raised the puppies, and the backside of things, the back end where we don't get to see that, right? Is really, really cool. So there is a link down at the bottom. I'll obviously share it in the social channel as well. Be sure and jump on there and donate. But I want to get to this is right here. Keith is watching. So if Keith is watching, let's see the donation for this. Maybe we can get Sean to wear maybe a wig or something, put the hair back up there, and shave that beard again. And then we'll get we'll maybe get a gunny suit or something. He can run in.
No, we're not.
Okay. So Andrea, how is the best? What's the best way to participate in this? You want to walk through this?
I would love to, Adam. Sure. So we have a variety of different ways to help support K9s For Warriors through the ITNation Gives activities this year. We mentioned we are absolutely collecting monetary donations. Link is at the bottom of this slide, as well as scrolling across the live stream here. Every little bit counts. Our goal is to get to $50,000. One of the, I think, pretty enlightening things about the donations that you're making is when you actually go to the donation screen, you can see what your monetary amount is actually going to be contributed to. So for example, if you donate $100, that is a 1-month supply of peanut butter for the dogs in the shelter. So it's pretty interesting to see how your dollars can really help the cause for K9s For Warriors. Next up, we have activities happening on site in about, what are we at, 15 days or something? I haven't seen it go by my background yet, how many days we're out before ITNation Connect. But the first activity we have going is dog treat making. So this is happening on Wednesday, November 8th from noon until 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We are supplying you with all of the ingredients you will need to make a delicious dog treat. It's all human food. It's peanut butter, rolled oats, and honey. So Sean, you can go ahead and try that out on site for us, do some taste testing, be our quality checker there.
It's funny you say that. Adam, can we pull up Keith's last comment?
Keith, you're more than welcome. It's all good. Peanut butter, rolled oats, and honey. So as long as you do not have a nut allergy, you will be A-okay. Or I guess honey or oat allergy, you'll be fine. Our goal is to make about 500 of these little tasty treats for the pups that will go directly to K9s For Warriors. So would love to see you on site on Wednesday, November 8th. Next up, we have our 5K fun run. John, you want to talk a little bit more about this one?
Yeah, sure. The fun run really was a community effort that we put together with, we've got Matt Topper, Brad Powell, and a handful of other folks that are just scattered them out into the community that traditionally will run a 5K in the morning at a conference.
Sean Lardo.
Yeah, and Sean's joining the 5K. He's changing every mile from what we've heard. Banana suit in the first mile, rucksack in the second mile.
Ruck suit is not an outfit. So we're clear.
Well, then
suit is though.
No, I know, but you're throwing it on with the banana suit on for the second mile. So these are all additions to the outfit.
So we're just building on the outfit.
Yeah, it's not changing. They're not swaps.
That makes much more sense. Yeah.
And then a cigar for the final mile. So we've got it for all 3 miles. But the fun run really is a way to, start your day early, get back. It's also a good way to network with people in a whole different light. It's so cool building the relationships out at ITNation. When you're standing there in a pair of running shorts and a t-shirt versus the same polo and lanyard that you've got on at every other conference, you build some real relationships on those runs. And get to see people in another light. So recommend getting out there. Recommended donations $25 per runner, but feel free to donate more if you'd like. All the money goes directly to K9 for Warriors, so we're excited for that.
Awesome. And if anything, just come to witness what Sean will be going through at this time. So it'll be a good time. Next up, we have a very, very special speaking session by two warriors who have gone through the K9s For Warrior program. They're actually a husband and wife, and they each have a dog via the K9s program. And I am pumped to hear from them. I assure you, it'll be a moving session. You're definitely going to want to bring some tissues, but you'll be able to hear directly from two folks who have experienced the value and the benefits and just what K9s For Warriors truly does, what their impact creates. So that is happening on Thursday, November 9th from 11:45 a.m. until 12:05 p.m. Eastern. It's taking place in the Marketplace Theater, which is directly inside of the Solutions Pavilion. So grab your lunch and pop over to the theater for that session. Additionally, the Warriors will be on site throughout the day. So if you have any questions for them, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper with them after their session, we're going to have a whole Warrior Lounge set up for them where you can get to know them a little bit better. So pumped for that one. And then we are rounding out our final day on Friday with dog demonstrations. So we were fortunate enough to hear from Dean today, kind of sharing with some of the training that these pups go through and what the dog's expectations are by going through the K9s For Warriors trainings. And we're actually going to have, I think, like between 10 and 14 dogs on site. I think that was the last number I heard. I could be way overestimating, but maybe if I just put it out there into the universe, that's how many dogs we'll have on site. But ultimately, we're going to have dogs walking around the conference, doing some demonstrations, showcasing the skills that they have to help support the warriors that they do get assigned to. Again, that's happening on Friday, November 10th. They'll be on site from 10 until 2 p.m.
If you follow Dean's way of math and talking, it'll go from 3 dogs to 10 dogs to 27 dogs in no time at all.
We will take 27 dogs.
But if we stay another 20 minutes or even 5 minutes, it's bound to go up to 62. Just for no real reason at all.
Dogs. That's what it is. Yep.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But overall, we're more than excited to be able to work with K9s For Warriors this year. And we know not every single way to support them up here is what every single person on the call or attending IT Nation wants to do. So that's why we tried to come up with a variety of different opportunities for you. And even if you can't join on site at Connect, you can help with those monetary donations or even do a 5K fun run virtually on your own. So there's options for you for sure.
That virtual one sounds like that's probably what I'll do. I'll be on the virtual 5K run.
As long as you can stream it, Sean.
I'll be there. I'll be there virtually.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to live stream it through StreamYard.
I'm actually virtually stretching my quads now.
Literally run next to you, Sean. As you take off each after every 1K, you get to take off one article of clothes. You have to put all 5 on at the beginning.
I won't even make it the first one. Those are the old days. Yeah, I'm old now. I'm old and dusty.
Excellent. So puppies on site. A lot of things going on. Can't wait for the Warrior speaking session. That's gonna be really cool. 5K, dog treat making. It's a lot. There's a lot here. K9s For Warriors is amazing. I'm excited to be part of this, and definitely share this. Get the donations up here. Where is I can't bring up that chart here.
While you pull that up, Keith asked if there's allowed to be walkers on the run. Absolutely. We are. It is a fun run. It's a distance, not a pace.
I'll be a walker. I think he meant physical walkers, not that he's walking, but he's going to use a walker.
We do allow the walkers.
5K.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any way you can complete the distance, it's up to you. You could crab walk the whole thing if you wanted to.
And if you donate
if you donate $10,000 before the end of this call, Sean will crab walk across the finish line in his banana suit with his rucksack while smoking a cigar.
I like only one. I like one part of the whole thing, and none of it has to do with the finish line. So,
Oh, it's the crab walk, I bet. We know you too well. We know you too well.
I feel like it's not a good situation at all for me. At all.
You got
I'm
time.
like-
Start stretching now.
I am stretching virtually. Can't wait to do that 5K virtual run.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be
Yeah.
excited right after our community event.
Dean
right
said
there.
he's doing it with me, so I can't wait.
Dean, are you
Awesome.
heading to ITNation?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe.
Whoa.
I know.
Okay. I mean,
We'll do
if
that early
anything,
going. He's totally coming, and he's totally going to do the 5K with me virtually.
Well, my knee surgery is tomorrow, so I'm not running anywhere. But yes,
Like I said, virtually, we're there. I got it. Like, I'm so in. No. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's it.
There you go. It's got really good cigars, Sean. Limited editions again. So get to that finish line.
I don't think that's part of the. Enough of my demise. So, any other important things we want to discuss?
No, but if you haven't registered for IT Nation Connect, maybe you probably should.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that link here. It's probably another banner that can pop up. So there it is, itnation.com/connect. I think there's a registration button right on that page. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. There's a lot going on. I think.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Wednesday, there's all the dog treat making. There's GPS. Like there's curated services and all this. It's just really great, amazing. I know there's community events, so definitely I know that we're putting on Ballards and Bullets, I think is what we call it. Dueling pianos and Nerf wars with open bar. Sounds like it's going to be great. Dance floor, guns. So this is going to be a really fun event to kick off IT Nation. There's a lot going on. A lot of things happening with the ConnectWise ecosystem, the platforms and all that stuff, software development. This is the year. I'm really looking forward to this, excited. And with that, we have K9s For Warriors as well. And so definitely continue donating. Love the support. Dean, appreciate your time today. John, that was incredible, the story and just the connection, and suddenly, bam, hearing all that was really cool. Sean Lardo, you want to close us out? Anything else?
Yeah, nope. Make sure people are paying, because if I'm gonna have to step up to do weird things, people better start paying. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this charity. Actually, well, I mean, I shaved my face last year, so I guess I can't really do worse than that.
You can actually technically
not according to my
shave your hair.
family.
You glue it on some latex glove and then pull it over the top.
No, I'm not doing. I'm gonna shave my face again, Adam. That's the point.
Creative.
No, it's not,
Creative.
Andrew. It's a very
little scary.
bad. It's a very bad idea. Let's knock that off now.
Okay.
Now.
So we're not green lighting anymore. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, no, come on. No, I think everybody needs to pay attention. Share this with your friends. Every bit of donation is going to count. With each success we have, we achieve something with the charity. We also achieve something internally ConnectWise that gets more buy-in from everybody collectively. So each year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, it's kind of on you guys that are watching. It's already on us. We've already delivered the message. It's on you guys to share the message and also to contribute. And honestly, tell your kids Christmas will be less this year. They'll get over it. They should not doing what Dean does and take them to watch it, give a dog away every year. So it'll be worse.
Wow, Sean.
See that Nation Connect. Can't wait.
Cool.
All right. Later, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Kudos.
Bye.